Here is Mike Witsch, who will talk with Jirandy Martinez from the Community Resource Center and Nate Adams from the Boys and Girls Club of New Rochelle about their joint summer enrichment program.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Roundtable. Thank you, Maura. I am Mike Witsch, and I have two guests with me, and they'll introduce themselves in just a second. It is springtime, about summertime to start, and along with some warmer weather and cherry blossoms, people start thinking about what they're going to do for the summer, especially students who need some extra help or enrichment during the summer. And tonight's program is bridging two communities, Mamaroneck, Larchmont, and New Rochelle. So here with me to talk about this unique summer program, Jirandy, do you want to tell the people just a bit about what you do at the Community Resource Center?
Yes, I'm the executive director of the Community Resource Center. I've been there for 10 years, and we serve the new immigrant community, fully integrate them in a healthy way, and we're really excited to be here.
And Nate Adams?
Yes, Nate Adams, the Director of Operations for the Boys and Girls Club of New Rochelle. I've been part of the organization now for 4 years. We have great programs, after-school programs that we offer, and we have a summer camp, but this enrichment program was something that was near and dear to our hearts, and we're so excited to be here tonight to talk about that in our partnership with the Community Resource Center. Well,
thank you and welcome to you both. And I want to remind our viewers that this is a live segment, so if you've got a question or a comment, you can email it to us. You can also watch live on Facebook, and I think we're also streaming live at lmctv.org. And as always, all of our programs are archived on YouTube, so if you miss any part of tonight's discussion or the entire newscast, you can watch it later on YouTube. So 2 years ago, about this time in April, the news broke that the Mamaroneck schools were drastically reducing funding for the summer co-op camp, which I understand was about 40 years old in the community. Mm-hmm. And it really affected the program for the middle school kids. Mm-hmm. So what did you do when that happened? I know you were on a steering committee that looked into it.
Yes, I'm on the co-op steering committee, and I'm actually a former co-op camper, so I understand what that program really means to people, especially young people. And when the budget cuts were so dramatic that they cut the middle school program, you know, CRC responds to the emerging needs, and we were just like, oh no, what are we going to do with so many young people essentially displaced, because this serves a socioeconomic lower level of the community, and we need them to be engaged. You know, we want to avoid the summer slide. So luckily, we have the Boys and Girls Club of New Rochelle, and we gathered together in 0.5 seconds. It took literally no time to get together and put together a program in less than a month. And I think we were just so grateful to have this resource in New Rochelle, get to know each other and just say, you know what, we need to respond to this need. They were so welcoming and so gracious to us, and I think that we've had a really successful program in the last 2 years. We're excited to run it again.
So you had 35 students go last year?
Yes.
35, and 35 the year before.
Yeah. Nate, how did it go?
I can't even speak on how great it was. I think when you know, New Rochelle and White Plains, not White Plains, but Mamaroneck is such a rock throw away from each other. Mm-hmm. You could be on one side of the street and not know if you're in New Rochelle or Larchmont or Mamaroneck. So for us to be able to do this was like a no-brainer. We were so excited about watching kids from different communities coming together. I just remember sitting at the desk and watching kids come in and high-fiving each other after the second day. It just said a lot about their opportunities to understand enrichment. To us, it's about gathering kids and showing them something different outside of just having fun during the summer. We want to have fun, but more importantly, we want to prepare our middle school students for that next phase in their lives. We have incoming middle schoolers and outgoing middle schoolers. So there's some strategies where we try to make sure that the experiences that our incoming middle schoolers are having or going to face, they're getting a chance to talk about that with some of the outgoing ones. So it's a blend of communities, a blend of age groups, and they really, really enjoy the time that they have with each other.
What is the age range for middle school students?
I would say now probably about 11 years old to anywhere between 12 to 13.
That's right. Mm-hmm. But we were lucky enough to serve incoming. So that actually expanded the amount of outreach we had.
Well, you mentioned the word summer slide. What's a summer slide?
So we worked a lot with this, actually with the STEM Alliance, because they did a lot of research with what it means for young people to have a gap in learning, and then have
You're talking about the summer months.
the summer months.
Roughly 2 months, 2.5 months that
Yes.
students are not in
Dormant,
class.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Not in class, and then coming back to school and being, having that gap really impact their learning and catching up. That's, if you have anything to add, that's what I noticed.
And I think the middle school population is almost a forgotten population.
Yeah.
We tend to always think about our younger kids and then preparing our older kids for college. Middle school to me is probably the most important developmental age group for kids today. So what we try to do is just make sure that we're starting to talk about career choices. We want to start talking about, well, high school is high school, and you have to go through it, but what classes apply to what careers? So as they start to approach high school, they have a better understanding of why they're in school for an additional 4 years. I've seen really a lot of our high school students just start to wonder, well, why am I here for another 4 years? And we want to start planting that seed through different programs, whether it's STEM programs, whether it's engineering programs, just starting to turn that wheel a little bit to enlighten them to what's out there for their lives.
For all the viewers, we're going to talk about what this summer program entails, and we'll be right back after this short message.
Do you know how to request our services? Just go to lmctv.org. Under the service banner, click Forms. In our Forms section, you can apply to be a volunteer, learn about membership, learn about corporate underwriting, request a bulletin board, coverage, DVD dubs, equipment, and PSAs.
It's all a click away at lmctv.org.
And we're back to the Roundtable segment, and I'm here with Jirandy Martinez from the Community Resource Center in Mamaroneck, and Nate Adams, who's the Director of Operations of the Boys and Girls Club in New Rochelle. And we're talking about this unique summer program for middle school students.
Yes.
And you just mentioned some ideas about having the kids experience what they're going into for high school, and
Yes.
what else does this program entail? First of all, this happens in New Rochelle.
It happens
the
in
club
New Rochelle. Yes.
Okay. So the kids from Mamaroneck go to New
Yes.
Rochelle?
We have transportation that allows for us to pick them up. We get started about 8:45, 9 o'clock in the morning. By 9 o'clock, the kids are at our Remington location, which is pretty much in the heart of New Rochelle. Once we get started, we usually break the kids up into different groups. And some of the programs we find that was very enriching and very important for the kids, like I mentioned earlier, our STEM program that gives them different opportunities through science, technology, engineering, and math.
That's the STEM.
STEM.
Not
But now
everybody knows that, but thank you for saying it.
And also now we're going to expand that a little bit more this year, and now the new catchphrase is STEAM, where we add the arts. So with the arts, we talk about photography. We're going to be doing video editing. I just had a conversation with a young man that's going to teach the kids how to be DJs. So I think the arts is so important for our kids to have expression. A lot of our kids don't know how to express themselves outside of a telephone or a cell phone. So we're going to be doing things like that. We also have trips that we take the kids on. We've had great partnerships with the Rye Nature Center and Sheldrake Nature Center, where the kids get the opportunity to see some environmental studies. We've also done things with some of our engineering programs, engineering for kids to be exact. They'll be coming in this year and be talking about hydro engineering. We'll be doing mechanical engineering projects, civil engineering projects. And you say to yourself, well, wow, that sounds almost like school. But uniquely, we just had a focus group with about 5 students.
Yep.
And those 5 students, it surprised me. We said, what was so important to you? We love the STEM projects. We love the aspect of learning during the summer.
Hands-on learning.
Hands-on learning.
Yeah.
And they're fun activities that they get an opportunity to take about an hour and a half to do. And they take those home and just remember those opportunities and where that's going to lead them in their futures.
Now, you haven't mentioned any of the popular summer activities like swimming.
Oh, yes.
You do that too?
So we have actually a pool that's directly adjacent to our building. So they get an opportunity to swim. We have a program that we call Triple Play, which is about the mind, body, and soul. So we're going to actually have the USTA is coming in this year, is going to be giving tennis lessons. So we know as our partnership has grown,
Everything.
we've gone outside and made sure other partnerships will be a part of this program. And so we thank those partners today that's going to help us to grow this program even more.
And that's why it's so important for us to, as much as we'd like to keep things in Mamaroneck, we don't have the capacity, the bandwidth, the space, and the expertise to provide this level and this quality of programming. So we are so happy to have the Boys and Girls Club who have the team. They know the programs. They're able to provide them. There's even an opportunity for kids to come here to LMC TV and learn about the media aspect here too. So I think that we really value partnerships and collaboration in that sense.
There is another summer school program for middle school students that I read about on the web, and they call it an experimental year. It's a 2-week program.
Okay.
Now that's not yours.
That's
We
not
don't
ours.
want to confuse the viewers.
Right.
But is it with STEM?
That's with the STEM Alliance of Larchmont and Mamaroneck, who are also partners. You know, it is
And
a
your
different
program is 6 weeks.
Ours is 6 weeks.
Yep.
So what I would say to that is that there is so much need to go around. Again, we can only serve 35 to 40, maybe 50. We'll see what we
see
can
what our
do this
numbers
year. Middle school students, but there are more than 50 middle school students in Mamaroneck. So the more that we can collaborate and partner together to serve as many people as we can, I think that it's wonderful.
Yes.
The types of students who you are looking to serve, do they suffer more if they're not stimulated during the summer?
Totally.
It's not. Is it there's a slide, but then it's not just the catching up. It's also they lose quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think as any middle school student, when I think back, I thought I was old enough to now have the summers for myself. And we find that, idle time sometimes could be the worst time. So, we don't have them all day long. We try to do it to where they still have some of their freedom during the summer. So it's a 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock program. We only go 3 days out of the week, which is Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. But we still have the opportunity for them to go out and venture the world, but we want to also make sure that there's some enrichment, there's something, so we don't have that slide in the summer to make sure that they're getting some opportunities to do some things.
Now I know you also employ some of the kids, the older kids.
Yes.
And there's leadership opportunities for them, and I want to talk more about that. And we will as soon as we come back from this message.
Yes. That's a quick message.
Welcome back to the Roundtable. We're going to finish up tonight with Jirandy and Nate, and we're talking about this summer program for middle school students. And it's a bridging program that connects New Rochelle Boys and Girls Club with Mamaroneck and Larchmont teens, or middle schoolers, I should say.
Yes.
In particular from low-income
Yes.
houses.
Yes.
And you were talking about some of the activities that they'll be engaged in. I'd like to go, but I think I'm a little too old.
Doesn't it sound like fun? It makes you want to go.
But one of the features is that you provide some leadership opportunities to the kids.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit, Jirandy?
Absolutely. So actually a great example is our group leader, the person who represents us at Boys and Girls Club, is a former civics student. He's been involved with us. He's a youth leader. He just graduated college. And I think that that's a good opportunity to see a role model, somebody who went to your school, who understands what you are going through and is now your group leader and is connecting you and being the liaison to this to the Boys and Girls Club. And even we just last week we did a focus group with as Nate was mentioning, with some of the participants of the group, and they are so amazing and involved and want their voices to be heard. And I think that that's a great leadership opportunity for young people, especially at that age.
No, totally, and just to hear their answers and their confidence. Us coming from the different community and having a focus group with those from this community, right away there wasn't no pulling of answers. They knew what they wanted to say. They knew how they felt about the program. A couple of them actually said, "Oh, I feel like I'm too old," but when they left our focus group, they grabbed their application and said, "We're coming back this year." So that just says a lot about what we're doing, and we're hoping that this partnership goes on for many years to come.
Right.
So the students apply,
Yes.
or can they be referred by a school counselor or?
We
Oh,
work
by the way.
very closely with the Hommocks Middle School with their social workers and Mamaroneck Avenue School social workers. Anybody can apply, and they, they're also referred. This person might want to go. Why don't you give them a call? We do a lot of outreach. There are still applications open, so if anybody has a question or would like to know more about it, visit us at the CRC. We're happy to explain what the program is. It isn't expensive at all. There are, scholarship opportunities as much as we can, and that's why we need to continue to support this in the community. We rely on funding to have this program.
So let's make a pitch for donations.
Well,
Let's just say it right out there. Folks, we need you to ante up here because this is a valuable program and it can't happen without these donations, right? There is no
100%.
other major funding source.
Well, we rely, but we're very lucky to receive the support of Con Edison and both of our organizations. But there's also an opportunity, we want it to be sustainable. We want this program to be sustainable for many years to come, as Nate was saying. I think we can both speak to how important it is to get involved as a young person. And we feel very passionate about youth development and transformational work.
And having kids see role models.
Totally.
Yes. And people of color who are role models,
Yeah.
We want that for them because, right, Nate, isn't that?
I mean, and even this year, we have a new program that we were able to start called Career Launch. And we'll be having some trainers, some of our teenagers that will be helping out. So we'll be able to supply opportunity of employment for 3 of our teenagers to work in this program. So for them actually now to be giving back to their community and serving. So there's so many layers around how this grows for us. And it's just exciting. But like I said, to bring those communities together, to see the young kids actually getting something out of the summer. And like we said, it's never an opportunity or a conversation where we say, are we doing it again? It's a matter of how big are we going to do it this year? And we have been growing. And one thing we was talking about actually on Monday was that we might expand to an additional day to Friday, where Friday will actually be our fun day, because guess what? Monday through Thursday, we have so many great enrichment programs. We want to get these kids active and doing great things for those times.
So how can people contribute?
Visit our website, send a check to the Community Resource Center. We're very excited to be able to help as many people. We don't want any barriers to participating in this program. So if you'd like to get informed, www.crcny.org is our website, or you can visit us at 134 Center Avenue in Mamaroneck.
And can they make a similar donation to the Boys and Girls Club?
Same thing. You can go onto our website. There's a lot of information on our website in regards to our summer programs. They can visit us at www.bgcnr.org, or just my information is up there. Give me a call. And like we said, it's a partnership. So however which way they want to donate and give to this program, we accept.
Yes.
You're looking for volunteers as well as donations?
We're always looking for volunteers.
Well, and for us too, is you kind of touched on it. Volunteers also that want to come in and give of what they've experienced in life. I think the most invaluable thing is when people can talk through their experiences. I love when people that have come from a community and want to come back and give and say, hey, this is what I do for my life. This is what it took. And I think our middle school students need to hear that. The work without labor sometimes leads you to nothing. So we want them to know this is what it takes to get successful or be successful in your life. So please, volunteers, when you have a day off of work, come on down, and talk about your career. Talk about what this program could mean for you.
Right. And I'd also like to thank, Con Edison and also the Larchmont Avenue Church last year helped us so much to just get that those last scholarships in. So I'd like to thank them so much for supporting us.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I'd like to thank you too for coming and spending a few minutes with us on the Local Live.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And please come back again.
Will do.
Thanks.
And folks, stay tuned. There's more of the Local Live coming up right now.